And that wasn't Henry's upbringing, and even with Happy Days.
When Happy Days first lit up television screens, Ron Howard was its golden boy, the clean-cut heart of the show whose wholesome smile audiences trusted instantly. But behind the jukebox nostalgia and perfect family dinners, something slowly shifted as fame stopped feeling fulfilling and the role that made him beloved began to feel like a cage, pushing him to question whether Richie Cunningham was all he would ever be. Long before he became the acclaimed director of Apollo 13, A Beautiful Mind, and The Da Vinci Code, Ron Howard was America's favorite redhead, a child who quite literally grew up in front of the camera after being born Ronald William Howard on March 1, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma, to actor parents Rance Howard and Gene Spiegel, who didn't just raise a child in Hollywood but immersed him in it, surrounding him with discipline, creativity, and storytelling from the moment he could walk. While other kids learned baseball, Ron learned camera marks, balancing studio tutoring at Desilu with regular school in Burbank, all while absorbing the quiet magic of how stories were built behind the scenes, a spark that ignited early when, at just 5 years old, he was cast as Opie Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show, where Andy Griffith gently mentored him through his first scenes and unknowingly planted the seed that storytelling was about more than performance, it was about guidance and vision. By the time Happy Days arrived in 1974, Ron was already a television veteran. Stepping into the role of Richie Cunningham, the all-American boy next door whose innocence perfectly balanced Henry Winkler's leather-jacketed Fonzie, creating one of TV's most iconic friendships. But as the show exploded into a cultural phenomenon, the spotlight gradually shifted toward Fonzie, with network executives even floating the idea of renaming the series, leaving Ron feeling sidelined in the very story that was supposed to be his. While audiences still adored him, ABC struggled to see beyond Richie Cunningham, dismissing Ron's growing interest in directing even after he proved himself with Grand Theft Auto in 1977, and that creative frustration, combined with a deepening desire to shape stories rather than simply appear in them, made staying feel impossible. When NBC offered him a chance to evolve, Ron made the shocking decision to walk away from Happy Days at the height of its success, a move that stunned fans and executives alike and left the show scrambling to recover. But though his early directing opportunities didn't come easily, Ron trusted his instincts, stepping away from television entirely to make Night Shift in 1982, a risky, offbeat comedy that reintroduced him to Hollywood not as a sitcom star, but as a filmmaker with heart, humor, and vision. That leap of faith paid off, launching a career defined not by scandal but by steady excellence. Even as he later weathered controversies like the religious backlash surrounding the Da Vinci Code and debates over creative freedom with a dilemma, all while maintaining a remarkably grounded personal life anchored by his wife Cheryl, his high school sweetheart and lifelong partner, whose quiet strength kept him steady through decades of fame. In the end, Ron Howard didn't leave Happy Days out of ego or rebellion. He left because he knew he was meant for something more, proving that sometimes the bravest move isn't holding on to what made you famous, but having the courage to walk away and become who you were always meant to be.